This week, we'll be making a card that looks like a postcard, but it isn't. I'll also be combining two methods to make this card, so stay tuned. The main things that you're going to need for this project is the Fashion Sense stamp set by Trey, as well as a Postmark stamp. I got mine from a friend, but you can get them pretty much anywhere. I'm also going to be using Spellbinders paper sets. I'm using You're My Type, as well as Super Chill. For more information on what tools and materials I'll be using, check out the description below. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sheet of Bristle Smooth cardstock that I've cut to be 5 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to take my stamp, my Postmark stamp, which I'm using one that says Paris, by the way, because I thought that was super cute. I'm going to be stamping in the upper right-hand corner with my gray ink. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't come out perfectly because, of course, this is supposed to be a postmark, and they don't always come out right. That said, for this next part, I don't really want to mess it up, so I'm going to be using my stamp platform. I'm going to place my paper in the corner, and I'm going to stick it down with the magnets. I'm going to be taking the outline of the woman from this set, and I'm going to put it vertically aligned, but I'm also going to try and put it in the left side so that it looks more interesting and it also won't clash with the postmark. Using my black ink, I'm just going to stamp it onto the paper. So the first step to our first method, paper piecing, is fussy cutting. So I'm going to be cutting out her dress. I'm going to take the same outline that I stamped onto the Bristle Smooth, and I'm going to take a sheet of colorful paper, mine is from Spellbinders, and I'm going to stamp it onto a place where you would get a lot of color and a lot of pattern in that dress. I decided that because my paper has flowers on it, I would like to get at least one flower into the dress. Now I'm going to take some very sharp scissors and I'm going to cut a square around my dress so it's easier to cut out. Now I'm going to begin cutting it out. When you cut, you really want to be able to see the black line when you're finished, so don't cut on the black line, but cut very, very close to it. So this dress has big gaps in the outline, so where there's not a specific line to show you where you're going to go, you should just assume a line. You can just figure out where that dress might go and just cut the way you want it around. Of course, we're not going to cut her head and arms out of this material, so I'm going to have to cut it off. I'm going to cut up her stomach, and then right where her bust is, I'm going to be cutting a diagonal line. There's kind of a line already there, but I'm just going to cut along that. And then we also don't want her arms, so just make a little triangle where her arms are and cut around them. Now we're going to be using the second method. This is called second generation stamping. So I've taken a very light blue stamping ink, and I've also taken the outline of the flowers from the stamping set. I'm going to be taking the ink and I'm going to ink it up just like usual, but I also have a scrap piece of paper here, and I'm going to stamp it first onto the scrap and then onto my postcard, so it gives a very faint color. As you can see, the dress itself is very faint, and that way it goes together and you don't have to worry about all your ink colors being too harsh. You can just second generation stamp it and then everything will be nice and soft. So yeah, just stamp them wherever you want in a random order. Because this ink color is super faint, I'm also just going to regular stamp some of them so that it kind of gives some of it a little bit more of a pop. Now we're ready to assemble everything. First, I'm going to take some glue and I'm just going to glue the dress onto the girl herself. Be careful when you're aligning it so that you don't make the dress top cover her shoulder or her head. Next, I'm going to take a nice background paper and I'm going to tape it onto my card base. This background paper has been cut to 5 1/4 by 4. Just tape on your base and then you're set. I hope you guys enjoyed this video tutorial on how to use the paper piecing method as well as the second generation stamping method. I really enjoyed making this card, and I do love this stamp set because, as you may already know, I used it for my ink smoosh card. If you haven't already seen that video, go check it out. I'll have the link in my description below. As always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. Stay crafty till next time!